Rumors often began as a whisper. Light is dust in the air. Yet somehow they have the power to shake an entire industry once they grow wings. And for weeks now, the entertainment world has been buzzing with a quiet but persistent story. A beloved power couple admired for their elegance, stability, and seemingly unbreakable bond is standing on the brink of a storm no one ever saw coming. At first, the whisperers were dismissed as gossip born from boredom. Yet, the more people tried to ignore it, the more the rumor took shape, evolving into a narrative too detailed, too specific, and too emotionally charged to look away from. It all revolved around one single theme: the crushing weight of work pressure and the widening gap in their vision for the future. Insiders began noticing subtle cracks long before the public did. While the couple continued to appear at events, smiling, waving, and holding hands as if nothing ever changed, those closest to them sensed something deeply troubling. Conversations that once flowed with warmth now carried a stiffness that couldn't be explained. Schedules that once aligned with ease suddenly drifted apart like two tides no longer pulled by the same moon. Their friends described it as watching two people walking in the same direction but on separate paths, close enough to see each other yet too far to truly reach. As work opportunities surged, so did expectations. Both individuals were entering what many would call the peak of their careers. Scripts were arriving non-stop. International collaborations were being offered. Brand endorsements demanded more presence. And global fan bases were expanding faster than ever. On paper, they were thriving. But behind the glamorous curtain lay a growing tension neither of them could fully articulate. The more success they achieved, the heavier the pressure became. Balancing work and personal life began to feel less like a choice and more like a battlefield, with each victory costing something deeply personal. The heart of the issue, according to those who witnessed fragments of their struggle, was the sharp contrast in their visions for the next stage of life. One dreamed of slowing down, of embracing a more peaceful rhythm, fewer schedules, more time at home, a life anchored not by headlines, but by quiet moments that would never appear on social media. This person longed for mornings without alarms, shared breakfasts, peaceful walks, and the simple comfort of presence. It wasn't the desire for retirement, but rather a yearning to protect the love they had built from being swallowed by the relentless demands of fame. The other, however, felt the exact opposite pull, fueled by ambition and the rare momentum that only comes once in a lifetime. They wanted to push forward harder, faster, higher, new markets, new roles, new challenges. They believed that slowing down now would mean losing the opportunity to shape their legacy at its peak. To them, the future was a wide open horizon waiting to be conquered, and hesitation was the true enemy. They didn't see their differences as conflict, but as growth, until the gap widened so much that compromise became painful instead of productive. Friends quietly admitted that the couple tried everything to hold on. They scheduled long talks late into the night, hoping to find a middle ground. They rearranged commitments, made promises, even tried short breaks to breathe and reset. But the problem wasn't temporary, it was fundamental. One heart was reaching for a calm harbor, while the other was steering toward a distant storm, eager to chase lightning with open hands. And neither desire was wrong. They were simply incompatible in a way no one wanted to admit. Yet the saddest part wasn't the arguments. It was the silence, the lingering quiet during shared meals, the unspoken frustration when one left for another overseas project. The growing weights on their shoulders as fans continued calling them the perfect couple, unaware that perfection had become their heaviest burden. Those words meant as admiration soon turned into pressure. They felt trapped between the expectations of millions and the reality of their own emotional exhaustion. As time passed, the rumors grew more intense, painting the picture of a couple fighting not out of anger, but out of longing. Longing for understanding, longing for peace, longing for each other. They still cared, deeply, perhaps more than ever. Yet, caring wasn't enough to make their visions align. Each day, the divide between future dreams widened, forming a quiet ache that neither could fully soothe. People close to them said the moment everything shifted was heartbreakingly simple. It wasn't a big argument, nor a dramatic confrontation. It was a quiet realization in the middle of an ordinary evening that they were both trying so hard to hold on that they were unintentionally hurting each other. The future, once the shared dream, painted in bright colors, had become a canvas of two separate pictures. And, although their love had once been the bridge, it could no longer carry the weight of two different worlds. Even now, nothing has been officially confirmed. Maybe the rumors are exaggerated, maybe the tension is temporary, or maybe silence itself is already the answer. But what everyone agrees on is this: work pressure can shape people, and differences in future goals can break even the strongest bonds if left untouched for too long. The public sees glamour, success, and flawless smiles, but behind every spotlight stands a human heart, fragile, hopeful, and terrified of losing what it loves most. If the rumors are true, then this is not a story of blame or betrayal. It is a story of two people standing at a crossroads, choosing between love and the future they each believe in. And, whatever decision they make, the world will watch with bated breath, still hoping for a miracle, because some couples shine so brightly that even the possibility of parting feels like the world is losing one of its most beautiful constellations. As the whispers intensified, the media began circling like birds sensing an incoming storm. Paparazzi lenses grew longer. Reporters stayed up through the night, and every subtle gesture between the couple was dissected with the precision of a scalpel. A missed eye contact at an event became a headline. A quiet car ride home became a trending topic. Even the smallest coincidence, a ring not worn on a particular day or a social media post removed too quickly, ignited speculation. They had always been admired for their sincerity and natural chemistry, but now every moment was viewed through a darker lens, as if the world was waiting for confirmation that something had finally broken. The weight of being observed so intensely created a new kind of isolation, one that even the brightest spotlight couldn't illuminate. In private, they try to protect each other from the noise, shielding their hearts from the chaos outside. But love, no matter how deep, struggles to breathe when surrounded by pressure. Nights that once ended with soft conversations and shared laughter, now ended in exhaustion. Mental, physical, emotional. They were fighting two battles at once, the one with the world that refused to leave them alone, and the one within themselves. As they wrestled with the direction of their lives, some friends said they saw them sitting together quietly, not arguing, not ignoring each other, just sitting with the sadness neither knew how to express. That kind of silence, heavier than any fight, often tells a truth people aren't ready to hear. Even their professional teams began sensing the shift. Managers struggled to coordinate schedules because the couple no longer wanted to discuss long-term plans together. Endorsements were accepted cautiously. International offers that once excited them now created tension instead of joy. One insider described a heartbreaking moment when both received major career opportunities on the same day, roles that could define their next decade. And, instead of celebrating, they fell into a quiet despair. Choosing one path meant closing the door on the other. Choosing themselves meant hurting the person they loved. It was a cruel paradox. The brighter their futures became individually, the dimmer their shared path grew. And yet, despite everything, there remained a fragile thread connecting them, a hope that time, healing, or a miracle might bring their visions back into alignment. Those who believed in them insisted that love this strong did not break easily. They spoke of their couple's resilience, their devotion, the way their eyes softened whenever the other entered the room, even in recent months. But others, more realistic or perhaps more cynical, argued that love alone cannot bridge a widening future. They whispered that sometimes two people can love each other deeply and still be forced apart by life's relentless pull. And as the world waits for clarity, suspended between hope and heartbreak, one truth remains certain: whatever choice they make next will become one of the most emotional turning points in their story. A decision that will echo far beyond